Hey everybody, I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I'm getting in an Uber. I'm in Chicago, and I was riding with this brother who told me that literally I'm his very first ever Uber customer, first ever. And so the brother's in the front seat. You can't really see him because it's dark, but it's good. You know, I don't want to throw out his identity, but so how you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
So what's your first name?
Joe.
Joe. Okay. So Joe, okay, so you just started driving Uber. This is your first day ever, first ride.
First day, first ride, first minute, actually.
Wow, and I'm the first ride. Oh, right. You know, this to me is a monumentous occasion because it seems to me, Joe, that usually people that become Uber drivers, they have a reason for wanting to do this. You know what I mean? Like they say, oh, I had this other job, I want to make extra money, or I didn't want to work full time, you know, on a 9 to 5 kind of thing. I want more flexibility. What was your reason for becoming an Uber driver?
Well, part of it is, like I said, make extra money. You know, I got a full-time job, and you know, it's during the fall season, and there was really nothing else to do. So I'm like, hey, I need to make some extra money. Holidays are coming up. Got to get some stuff ready for the kids. So I decided, hey, let me give this a shot.
Okay.
I have a couple of buddies that do it, and they like it, and they're talking about the amount of money they receive from doing it. So I'm like, hey, why not?
Wow. So, okay, so how many kids you got? Just out of curiosity.
Two. I got two.
Two. Okay. About what age?
An 8-year-old, and a 6-year-old.
Oh wow. You married too?
No, I'm divorced.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry to hear that. But
I'm not now.
Oh, well, congratulations then. That's the thing with divorce. It's like either I'm sorry to hear that, or congratulations. You know, I'm not here to judge. So, okay, so all right, so you had a full-time job, or you still have the full-time job?
Yes, I still have the full-time.
Oh, and you drive Uber on the side. Okay,
Correct.
Okay. So your friends that told you about Uber, did they do the same? Like, did they work full-time and drive, or are they just full-time drivers?
Well, one of them actually is a full-time driver. Because he does it at night while the kids are going to sleep, and the other one does the same, has a full-time job, and you know, the other friend kind of referred both of us, so it's like, okay, let's give it a shot.
Oh wow! So all your friends that do Uber, they feel like it's like a worthy investment kind of thing.
Yes.
Really interesting. Huh? Okay, so you know, and also I'm real curious because you know I'm always interested in Uber because I like anything that allows flexibility, you know, because I almost feel like flexibility in terms of making money is kind of a new business model that people are able to implement that goes beyond like, you know, what job can I find that'll have me working 9 to 5, but it sounds like you're using it as an alternative stream of income, which seems pretty powerful. So what kind of money have you heard that people are making, like as far as extra money driving Uber?
Well, I've heard from as on a minimum of about $150-$200 a night to up as about $400 to $450 on the weekend.
Wow. So I mean, even $100 a night can really make a difference in somebody's monthly expenses. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's. I mean, so even on the low end, that's amazing. You know, I tell you from a customer's perspective, I really like Uber because it's just simple, convenient, easy to do. In fact, they now let you carpool. I'm sure you guys know all about that, right?
Yeah. I was just reading up on it last week. My buddy, it was the first time he ever used that with the carpool. And I get it. I understand because I'm also, I'm also a passenger at times for Uber too. So I totally get it. It's pretty useful.
Interesting. Well, you know, so I was thinking about that just in terms of, you know, just what Uber kind of seems to do. You know, I think with a lot of people, I know a lot of people who've thought about becoming Uber drivers, they just don't really know how. So what was your procedure? Like, did you had to go online and apply and all that stuff?
Right. Well, I mean, that is the procedure. It was a little easier for me in terms of a buddy of mine. He sent me a link out there and say, hey, you know, you should become an Uber driver. Here's the link. And so I clicked on the link and signed up, basically. It gives you the procedures. You gotta have a working vehicle, gotta get your vehicle checked. I mean, if you know how to use the internet, it's pretty savvy.
Really? Okay. So you apply. They obviously. So I assume they check like criminal background, all that, of course.
Absolutely. Which that's the part that took like the longest. Waiting to hear back and making sure everything was okay. verification that everything was okay, then you went to the process of now getting your vehicle actually checked out.
Interesting.
Yeah, and with that, they have participant locations for you to get your vehicle checked. I actually took mine like a Jiffy Lube, which is one of them, and they check your vehicle. I mean, they were very thorough.
Really?
In their process. I remember one of my tires. I mean, it was the inch of the thread was less than what was recommended, and they wouldn't even pass me on it. I had to go basically get a new tire.
Wow, are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they were very good. Which makes me I feel safe about that, because now I understand when I'm sitting in the back seat or so, I feel comfortable that car went through the proper requirements.
Wow. So, it's interesting. I mean, it really, a person that doesn't have a car could literally find, if they could get the money to buy the car, they could make the car note and pay the rent off of the money they made driving the Uber, and really only driving part-time, it sounds like, based on the numbers you were talking, you mentioned earlier.
Right, yeah.
I mean, that's extraordinary, man. So, okay, so after that, like, is there some kind of a test or or a training process? How does that go after your car gets approved and your background check?
Well, car gets approved, background check, they send you a couple of YouTube's videos to look at, and you follow along, and, little rules of the road, tips from different drivers, and then you get on the road.
Wow. So then they give you like an app or something that
there's an app. You download the app. The app has its own instructions on how to use it and how to follow, how to use the navigational. It gives you different navigational tool. So far, app is great, except when it's using the navigational tool.
Really?
It's
Wow.
Not that great. It's not that accurate, because it took me a while to find you that one. It's not as great. Which I've heard from a couple of my buddies, a couple other drivers. They're like, yeah, it's not that great. Sometimes they use Google Maps, which actually is more accurate.
Interesting.
Yeah, the hardest part is finding that person, because when I looked for you, it told me that you were on the other side of the street.